Hello everyone, Storm1 here. Today we're going to be talking about there be having several issues across parts of the eastern U.S. There'll be some freezing rain and a mix of some snow across parts of the northeastern U.S. Some isolated flooding issues across parts of Kentucky, Tennessee, and there's also going to be a threat of some severe weather across parts of the southern uh, U.S. as well. We're going to check out the watch warning map display and what we got going on. And finally, finally, the western U.S. is actually pretty quiet this time. Usually, every time when we look into the watch warning map display over the last couple of weeks or so, it's always been very active across the western U.S. But this time, it's actually much quieter. One thing I want, couple things to note on this map here is that across parts of the northern plains and the upper Midwest, we actually have wind chill advisories and warnings up there. Temperatures are definitely going to stay very cold up there as well. We got winter weather advisories across a good chunk of the northeastern U.S. as well. We actually had ice storm warnings across parts of New York and Pennsylvania, but that's for a small area up there. Those things like they have expired or canceled up there. Couple flash flood warnings in the parts of southwestern Kentucky, getting some isolated flooding issues down there. And we have a tornado watch across parts of Mississippi and Alabama. The main threat would be damaging winds, maybe some isolated tornadoes, and there could be some hail out there as well. Let's talk about the severe weather potential first. So if we check out the SPC outlook here for today, we got slight risk from northeastern Louisiana into southern Mississippi and also into southern Alabama as well. The hail will be pretty low out there, but the main threat will be damaged winds. There might be some isolated tornadoes out there, especially within that 5% risk area as well. If I'm correct, earlier this morning here, I believe we had a significant tornado in the parts of Louisiana. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. I believe that kind of came out of nowhere this morning. I believe we had a significant tornado down there as well. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. But let's check out the current environment. So this is your instability values, and there's plenty of instability across southern Mississippi, in even across most of Louisiana. Right now in southern Alabama, there's not much of any instability, but that is going to change over the next several hours. You're going to see these instability values kind of expand further to the north and east here, which will eventually engulf parts of the Florida Panhandle and eventually getting into southern Alabama. That's also where you're going to see a severe weather risk later today as well. If we do check out the bulk shear, there is plenty of bulk shear out there, which will help keep storms organized. And then the storm intensity values are also pretty elevated as well. Got widespread 200 and with some isolated 300 in the parts of southern Alabama. This will be favorable for some isolated tornadoes out there as well. If we do check out the significant tornado parameters, this is the fixed layer. There is a small 2 area right there, which could mean the potential for a strong tornado, but that's a very small area. But really, you got this large area of number 1. But keep an eye on the eastern half of this area here. Really about east of this line here, into this red circle, is where we can where the environment is currently favorable for maybe for an isolated tornado. But right now, we do not have much of any development. Really, the cluster thunderstorms we're watching for is a little bit north of that as well. And those storms will continue to move off to the east as well. We should start to see some more storm development on the southern tail end of this as well. So that'd be something we need to keep an eye on throughout the day as well. Is this little cluster thunderstorms as they do continue to move on to the east as well. And those storms may eventually get into parts of southwestern Georgia, maybe by later tonight as well. So that is the severe weather side of things out of the way. I want to check out the power outages map. And really where we have those yellow color over Texas and Virginia, those are areas that those states have at least 10,000 people without power. And I know in Texas we did have a tornado in nearby the Houston area yesterday. And you do see here there is some people without power down there as well. as well, where we did have some of the severe weather. Currently, we have nearly 12,000 people without power in the state of Texas. And like I was mentioning with Louisiana with a potential significant tornado, it looks like it might happen in the northeastern part of Louisiana, where we do have 1,600 people without power. But you also do have this little cluster in southwestern Louisiana as well. But statewide in general, you got about almost 5,300 people without power. And I believe with the people that are out of power in Virginia, I think those are the same people who are still out of power from that significant winter storm that we had a few days ago. Correct me if I'm wrong in that, but if that's correct, that's pretty insane how we still got people without power in Virginia. Then let's kind of move on to the winter side of things for today. We have some freeze and rain issues across parts of the Northeast, and we did have a couple ice storm warnings. And the people that were within those ice storm warnings had at least ice accumulations at least a quarter of an inch, which has led to some isolated power outages. Like in Potter County, for example, 313 people out of power. That's not a whole lot of people. And you got 82 people out of power in McKean County, Pennsylvania as well. But statewide in general, it's well over 1,000 people. So it's not really a major ice storm or anything like that. When you get to ice storm territory, at least on the low end side of things, it's not really significant. Really, you need to be careful of is the trees where you may have weaker tree limbs. Those may have a better chance of being taken down by from the weight of the ice. And sometimes some of those larger tree limbs could get down on power lines as well, and it can knock some people's power out. But either way, it's not very significant. But the biggest impact in general from this ice storm is the roads, especially for untreated surfaces. They're likely to be very slick, so you definitely need to be careful on them roads as well. And if we do check out New York, it does look like they might have got the power outage situation a little bit more taken care of up here. Earlier, we had about almost 2,000 people, and it seems like we backed off of the numbers. We had a little cluster in this area right in here, but it looks like they got that taken care of as well, which is some good news. But really, either way, this is not really a significant event or anything like that. Really, a quarter of an inch of ice is not really in reality a lot of ice. I've been through several ice storms in my lifetime, and I'll tell you this is not a major event like some people have been saying. It's not a major event. I consider a major ice storm at least 3/4 of an inch. That's where you can really start to see widespread tree damage and power outages as well at that point, even over an inch of ice as well. But with this event, you're talking about what over a quarter of an inch of ice, which in reality it's not a whole lot. But the main impact from this ice storm is going to be the roads. Even if you're not in the ice outside the ice storm across the northeast, even if you're getting some freezing rain, the roads will still be slippery either way. So just to keep in mind that. So this is the latest herd model run. And as temperatures start to get warmer at the surface, eventually we start to transition over to rain, which you can see here with the herd model over the next couple hours. A lot of that freeze rate becomes a little bit more isolated as the day goes on, and eventually that cold front starts to pass through. There could be some snow showers behind it, and you do notice that the Great Lakes do start to become a little bit more active as well. If you do check out the ice accumulation over the next couple hours, you can see there not a whole lot more is coming. Uh, I'll say maybe as max a tenth an inch of ice. The models are typically a little bit overdone when it comes to ice accumulations, but I think at max some people may see another tenth an inch of ice before this event is done. And the snowfall potential, there's not going to be a whole lot of snow out there unless if you live nearby the Great Lakes. You can certainly see here, I believe that is Lake Ontario, if I'm correct, or Lake Ontario, if I'm correct. Off of there, we do have quite a bit of snow that will happen off of that lake as well. And you can see here from the snowfall accumulation from the Hermo, also can certainly fall from the lake effect snow as well. So a lot of lake effect snow action will be happening across parts of the Great Lakes region as well. And I know this is a short video. Really, after this system, there's not going to be a whole lot going on unless if you're going to be checking out long range, which we did check that out on the last video of my thoughts into mid-January, which I do think it is pretty interesting as well. So if you guys want to check out that video, I have the card up above on the top right corner as well. But anyways, guys, that's all for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys like this video, hit that like button. If you do like my channel, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell notifications so you never miss an upload. If you got some questions about this, leave the comment section down below. I answer you guys questions. And I see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.